I'm Henderson Ventura from Tabacalera William Ventura in the Dominican Republic.
Henderson, first of all, it's an absolute honor to be here. I know that you are second generation Tabacalero, and you've basically grown up in this industry. Can you tell me a little bit about at what age you started to, touch tobacco and really understand tobacco?
Thank you very much, Brian. For me, it's more than a pleasure to be here with you. Uh, Also glad to see people from my generation be growing our business in a different aspect. Uh, so I started to touch tobacco like when I was 12 years old. So like on the summer vacation, uh, that was like our things to go to the factory for 3 months uh, and do a little something. It was playing baseball like in the morning and go to the factory in the afternoon. So I started to understand like what was like a cycle visually how to live when I was 12, 13, 14. And then I really started to work in the cigar factory when I was 17, that my dad decided to do like his own project um, by himself, and he wanted me to join the company, to give him the hands at the beginning of the factory. So that's when I started to work full time in the factory.
So, how long has it been since then? How old are you now?
I'm 31.
31.
Yeah,
So, you've
31.
been doing this professionally for 14 years already.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
And is there a specific style that you use to roll? I know that people talk about traditional or triple cat. Like, is there a specific style that when I pick up your cigar that I can look for signs of that?
So we do accordion bunching style. Uh, this is the way that we understand that the cigar get the better contraction for the draw and the consistency of the blends. So we do that way for bunching, and in the finish, like on the rolling, we do the classic Dominican style that is we call it straight. We don't take like a no not other tool than the chaveta, and then we finish by the finger. Uh, so that's the normal way that we use in our factory there.
I noticed you cut the cigar or remove the cap with your fingers. Is that something that you do traditionally?
That's a factory thing. Like we know we don't use more than a lighter as a tool for to smoke a cigar. Or maybe sometimes we just use like the cutter from the roller table, and that's it. If we have like a figured out a cigar,
Okay. Wow, that's very cool.
yeah.
And so, as far as that's cool that you roll accordion style. I know a lot of people talk about N2 bar being this classic traditional thing, but N2 bar, I mean, if you just look at, I'm not an engineer, but if you look at the way that you roll it, I think N2 bar would lend itself to tunneling, because it creates basically a cylinder down the middle.
Uh, I will say it's not necessary that tunneling it can be one of the biggest mystery of rolling cigar. It can be because of veins. It can be because sometimes the tobacco is too dry and you cannot roll the leaf properly. Uh, but we don't use entubado. One of the main reason because we don't use entubado is because we take care a lot the draw of the cigar. So that's like one of the most important thing to have a good draw in the cigar, and also to have like the the blend as we blend cigar like with a lot of different tobacco. We want like the flavor of the cigar have a bigger spectrum in your mouth. So our accordion style give me like a more pour like pours in the more air in the draw of the cigar. So it lets you have a better experience and taste the real blend and have more flavor from the tobacco than the other style.
That's awesome. I love that. Okay, so you have been doing this for basically all of your professional life, and your father is a bit of a legend in the industry. Um, do you work with him on a daily basis? Do you feel like he's passed down most of the information that he can pass on to you at this point, or are you still learning from him every day?
He never passed down his information. One of the first things when I started to work in the factory and I started to get like really fall in love that I want to be like I want to be the next things, the next guy in the cigar industry. So I was like, hey man, like what you need to tell me? Like I know that I've been working in the factory. I have a few years in the factory, but I think that like you need to give me like a push, you know, of knowledges. Like so, do you have anything? So he was like, Henderson, you here in the factory every day. This is all you need to learn, whatever you need to learn about tobacco and cigar. If you pay attention to what you're doing, like you're gonna make whatever, and you don't need to follow any rules. So, do you,
Nice. I love that. And so you've been producing a lot of cigars over the last couple of years that are getting very high ratings from people that are smoking them objectively. Um, can you tell us what brands you've been involved with producing over the last few years?
Um, I mean, the most relevant brands that we've been making. We are a boutique factory, so we focus about ready tobacco, aged tobacco, uh, a small production of some specific seed that nobody use anymore, like the real seed from back in the days. So that's our region. So we focus more on boutique brands. So most of the relevant brands that we produce there is like Caldwell cigar, pretty much all the core line from Caldwell, the Room 101, all the Forest Lime and the Dune series, La Barba, that is another small brand, Adventura, that is that's my little kid, that's my baby, and then we produce on a smaller brand like J London that it's more like more boutique exclusive and but back in the days the first brand that got us in like in the boutique market was Rodrigo cigar. Rodrigo is my amigo. That was the hit things.
I remember hearing about that. I've never, still never smoked one. In fact, a lot of people, not a lot of people, there's been one or two people that have said to me that he was like the Privada before Privada. I don't know what they meant by that because it wasn't a club or anything.
I will tell you why is he was very engaged with his consumers and he also was a guy that was giving a lot of information about his blends and the cigar that he was bringing out. And the other thing, he started a club that was called like a Leaf and Beans. So that was like a membership club that he started back in the days. But then he had an accident and some things that happens and when he started to be full time in the cigar industry and pretty much everything disappeared after that.
Okay. Um, Tell us about what you're smoking right now. What is this cigar? Where does it come from? What's the story behind this cigar?
So that's a cigar that is pretty much everything Corojo. Corojo is for me one of the most complex tobacco, and this is Corojo Original. So the Corojo is one of the few tobacco that if you smoke that tobacco by itself, it gives you like a different stimulation in different part of your mouth, different part of your palate. So it's not many tobacco that does that. So some pretty much all the tobacco give you like a strong stimulation on the back bitter part of the side, like citric or sweet or bitter. But the Corojo is a tobacco that give you a nice stimulation on the acid part of your palate, so it's bring a lot of creaminess and translate like sweetness also and also on the bitter part, so it's give you that like kind of peppery coffee taste at the same time. So for me, it's a tobacco that I love. The creaminess of the tobacco. Creaminess for me is is what create a blend that make you feel to keep smoking that cigar. So I always played like that in the factory. I smoke a lot of puro, like not even like a real cigar. I just roll my own cigar, just like with binder and filler, and that's pretty much what I smoke there. A lot of Corojo, and I just decided to do a cigar like that, like for me to enjoy, and a lot of friends of mine they love that. So
How aged is this cigar that you're smoking?
about about 6 months. I don't age those cigar for a long time. It's for my own pleasure. So that's like my easy smoke, like when I'm driving or hanging around. Uh, so I don't age those cigar for a longer time.
Do you have enough of these rolled that we could maybe get some for the shop online or the club?
I don't know if it's enough, but I know it's enough for me. No, I have I roll like at least like around 3,000 cigar of those. Yeah.
So maybe we could do like a shop exclusive. You could loan us 1,500 of your cigars or something like that.
If you left me enough so I can smoke for a few months, I'm okay with that.
Okay, great. Well, Henderson, I feel like two things.
Mhm.
One, I feel like we have something in common, Privada and Henderson, with not just the age, but the generation of cigar enthusiasts, cigar culture.
Mhm.
I feel like we're going to have a lot of time to grow together. You're someone that is basically young in the industry, and so is Privada. We're a young company, and we're the next generation of cigar smokers. You're the next generation of cigar manufacturers. So I feel like this is a great, collaboration to be working together. And so I just wanted to make note of that, and I also wanted to say that I'm very impressed with your products. Adventura, Caldwell, Jay London, shout out to Jonathan. These are all grade A products, Class A products, coming out of the Dominican Republic, which I feel like has been discounted in some way with the rise of Nicaraguan tobacco. I won't get into that, but everything's been Nicaragua, 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 and here we have an amazing Dominican manufacturer that's producing products that not just stand up to, but are probably more balanced than a lot of the Nicaraguan stuff, and have maybe even more nuances. So you should be very proud of your work. Please send our regards to your father. Thank him for his work in cigar culture and the industry. And let's try to get some of those cigars up here so maybe we could put the interview out and put those cigars on the shop so they can try what you're smoking.
Thank you very much, Brian, and thank you for your words. Uh, I feel very proud, to be here and to have the opportunity to bring sunshine to the Dominican boutiques. Uh, this is something that I've been working for years and years. We just like in a small family that started our own business, uh, and we have a lot of knowledges about tobacco, but it takes time to build a business from zero. So it's just about time. I think we're creating unique product, unique cigar from the Dominican Republic, uh, and the style blending that we're doing as a young generation and new school of master blenders. Uh, I think we bring a new style, and I think this is something that would happen with the Dominican Republic. They stick to something that was like very classic, and we're just trying to make a revolution from that, and bring new experience, new flavor profile, more sophisticated blends for the most connoisseurs of cigars smokers.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. I'm honored to have you, and I cannot wait to try these cigars and a million other things that we're going to work with you on going forward. And I hope to have you here at least once a year and at least a few cigars per year in the club. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Brian.
Okay.